I hope you had an opportunity to go and get a delicious drink and a very healthy snack. I also hope you had time to visit the bathroom before coming back, because this one's going to be kind of a long segment, because now we're going to talk about the content that's going to go on your digital portfolio, and there are multiple steps to this. So let's get started. So in the last part of this, I talked to you about themes and the different types of themes. One thing I noticed when I had it set at the simple theme, look at how tall that banner is. The height of it, it kind of takes up too much real estate. And that's simply a function of the amount of text that I have on there and the fact that I can't really change the size of the text. So what I'm going to do is I looked around a little bit and I looked at Aristotle. And I kind of like the way this looks because it changes the font size and it also changes the font itself. So I am going to stick with Aristotle. Notice that there are different font styles that you can choose in this one as well. Here's another thing that you'll notice, that the bar right in here in the banner area, that changes colors as well. It's kind of a little design feature. Whatever color you're going to choose, if you use this or another one that has that bar or the box, make sure it's something that's really compatible with the banner that you've chosen. The other thing you'll notice is that it also is the color of the text. It changes the color of the text on the page. I kind of like this grayish blue, so I'm going to stick with that. So now we're going to pop back over to Insert. It's time to start adding some content. At the same time, I'm going to take me and say, bye me, and I'm going to take me out of this picture. Okay, now we have more room to work. So I'm going to put in a text box because every page that you create should have something called a statement of purpose. And a statement of purpose is exactly what it sounds like. It's when somebody lands on your page, they need to know what it's about. And so that's a statement of purpose, and you always have that on every single page. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be there. So I am going to put in, welcome to my 21st century communications portfolio. Then I'm going to say click through the pages and view, spelling it right, view, I-E-W, view the learning I have done this year. Now, I know that this is written in present tense, and you haven't really done a lot of this yet, but that's still how we're going to write it, is in present tense, okay? So feel free to borrow some of my words, but try to make it your own, unique, and make sure that you're using capitalizations, that you're using, and that you're using punctuation. Make sure that you're using the pronoun I is capitalized. Okay, but that's pretty tiny. Take a look at this. It looks really, really tiny, right? So here's what we're going to change. When I click in here, you're going to see I get some bit of a text editor bar. It's got all the usual stuff you'd expect. But right here, it says normal text. What this is these are pre-programmed sizes of text. So if I were to click title, you'd see how honking big that is, right? Heading is okay, and obviously it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Too tiny, little minuscule. But you know, I'm going to leave it at, kittens, come on. Oh my goodness, here. I'm going to leave it. Every time I do this, it's moving my text and deleting it. I'm going to just take this out of here. Maybe this will be good advice for you, and I'm going to retype mine. Looks like you need to change the size first. 21st century communications portfolio. Click through the pages and view the learning. My goodness. Have done this year. Oh my gosh. Thank you for your patience. All right. So now I have my statement of purpose on my homepage. Right? It tells the people who come here exactly why they're here. And I see that I must have been playing here because I have another text box up here, and I'm going to go over here and just trash that. There. Now that's at the top, right where it belongs. So now you can see that we're on the graphics page. And this graphics page is ready for your statement of purpose. So once again, I'm going to click on the text box. And again, I don't really know what I want to put in here too much because you really haven't done the graphics yet. So I think I'm going to say something like, welcome to my page of graphics. I used Pixlr. Oops, not Pixlr, Pixlr, to create my images. Each of communicates a message, period. Each of these graphics. So here's what I have. Welcome to my page of graphics. I use Pixlr to create my images. Each of these images communicates a message. Okay, so it's pretty vague, yet it tells us what's on this page, right? It even tells us a little bit how you made them. So that looks really good to me. So I'm going to click on normal text. And again, I'm going to make this the title, right? So the title size, that's what you want. You want that statement of purpose to stand out. So when your visitors show up at your page, it's right there in front of you. Okay, so perfect. We have that. The next thing I want to do is add some content to this page. So you already have your U project completed, saved as a JPEG, and you've already written your reflection. So you are ready now to upload these to your graphics page. So I'm going to hit that layout, and I went through and worked with this a little bit prior to this, trying to figure out which is going to be the best layout to put in your image and your text. And this one really does work the best. So now is when you're going to discover the importance of having your Google Drive organized. So I'm going to click on the plus and notice all these options of where you can get your work from. So I'm going to go from Drive. It opens up on the right-hand side, which is awesome. Now, see all your folders show up. And because I've color-coded the folder that I know it's in, and then 21st Century, it's easy for me to find it. And I know I put it in my projects folder, and I know that it is right here. Now I'm going to click Insert. Whew. Woof though, look at how big that is. So that's not awesome, right? Because you can only see a little bit of my face. I'm going to play around with this so I can adjust it to get more of me in there. And then, because we're going to be creating a button to see this, I'm going to make it a little smaller. I can play around with this. I've got my image in there for the most part, but I'm just going to play with the size. And it's taking over by itself. Okay, so perfect. Look at how it readjusted the size, but that's too tiny to really see. So now I'm going to go over to this back over here to layout. Insert, and I'm going to scroll down, and I see that I have an option for a button. So I'm going to call this button click here for larger size. Okay, that's what my button's going to be called. Now I'm going to go back over to my drive where I have this. Oops, that's not my drive. Alrighty, where did my drive go? Here it is. I'm going to go back to my drive, and I am going to open that image. So this is where it becomes a little bit tedious. Go back into my projects folder. And now what I know I have to do is I need to open up my image that I've saved. And it's not good enough to just open it like this. I have to pop this out into a new window, and I'll tell you why. If you leave it like this, the image is going to look like your drive. You can see the very first part of this URL says drive.google.com. Nobody's even going to be able to get into that. So what I'm going to have to do is open this in a new window. And now the URL that I have, even though it says drive.google, it's still a place that the internet will be able to get to. Whoever is viewing this will be able to get to this. I'm also going to have to click on share. And this is very important because unless you change the permissions, I won't be able to view your work, and neither will anybody else. So I'm going to click down here on Get Link, and I'm going to change this to anyone with the link. That means any viewer who comes to your website will be able to see this image. So now I've changed this. Make sure you're doing that. And then I'm also going to copy the link, and I'm going to say done. I'm going to pop on over to the website, and where it says link, I am going to put that in there, paste it in there, and say insert. I also know that I want to move this up right underneath my image. I should be able to put it in there. There, perfect. Just by playing with it and moving it up, you can now make it part of your image, and I like that. So now I'm going to add in my text that I want for my reflection. So I've already got this on another website, so I'm going to pop over here and I'm going to grab that text so you can see it being built. Again, copy and paste this from what you've already written in your Google Doc, making sure, of course, that you've spelled everything correctly and that you've put in punctuation. So I'm going to pop back over here. I'm going to paste that in there. What we want to do, our goal is to create as much room underneath this as possible for additional graphics that you're going to be creating. So this turned out pretty nice, right? So now let's take a look when we publish this, what this will look like. Okay, so up here we have a couple of options. This one is preview, and right now I just want to talk about publish because I want you to be able to see what this looks like now when we do have it go live. So clicking publish, it's asking me who can view my site. I'm going to change this to click on manage. You're going to say anyone with the link. We're going to make it public, okay? So that's what you're going to do. You're going to make this public. That way you can share this with your parents. And I know that they would be thrilled to see that. You could just say at dinner one night, hey, Mom, Dad, guess what? I want to show you something. And you could show them all the work you're doing. So I'm going to say done. And I'm going to publish. Okay, doesn't look like anything changed, right? Well, now it is out on the big wide web, but I still don't really know what it looks like when it's out on the big wide web. So I'm going to click up here, and that says preview. So I'm going to click in there. And now you can see what my graphics page looks like. I think I'm going to play with this a little bit more because I don't like the way the text is located. It's too low. I would love to have it even with the top of my picture. But here's what's important. I'm going to click here for larger size, and you will see as soon as it's done. Now it opens up to a larger size where I can really see the full impact of that image. So that's what the button does, and that's what it means to make that small size and then add a button so we can see the larger size. So while I'm here, I also want you to see that there's this black box-ish on the bottom right-hand corner. Right now, I can see that it's in computer mode, right? So I get to see what it looks like displayed on a computer. Let's see what this looks like displayed on a tablet. And you can see how the the responsive design shrinks down the size of the banner. It adjusts the content to fit for that type of device. And this is what it looks like on a phone. Okay, you can see that that's what it will look like on a phone. And these 4 lines up here would open up and take you to the other pages that are on your site. It's kind of cool, huh? I think it is too. So I'm going to close this out. So now we're back to the editing side of your digital portfolio. So again, you've got your graphics page. You're going to have your first assignment on there. And so right now, that's about the only content we have. Okay, so now the next page that you're going to be adding content to is the About Me page. So I'm going to pop over to the About Me page. And on the About Me page, you're going to be doing exactly that. You're going to write 2 paragraphs, and your paragraphs are going to be, one is introducing who you are, and what are your hobbies. Your second paragraph is going to be, what are your goals for your future? What are your goals for when you graduate high school? So you're going to have 2 paragraphs on there. So you're going to let your viewer get to know you. The other thing you're going to do is add an image. Now I'm going to pop on over and show you the one that I've got done already. Go to my graphics page. I'm sorry, my About Me page. And you can see again, I introduce myself. I write about my teaching career and then what I like to do in my spare time. And again, like I talked about in my first video, I love the gardening. I love my ponds. This is my place of serenity and joy, is creating all this stuff. Anyway, if you ever want to see more of my ponds, I've got about, probably 1,000 pictures. So let me know. Okay, so that's what you're going to be putting on yours. You could even put a picture of yourself on here if you want to. But again, the paragraphs are going to be introducing yourself. Who are you? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? And the second paragraph is going to be, what are your goals? What do you want to do after high school? And by the way, you have to develop this. So if you're someone who goes, I don't know what I want to do after high school, well, now's the time to do a reflection and think about this. Because I expect to have 2 really fully developed paragraphs, well written, with that whole writing, the importance of writing well aspect is too. So that means capitalization, punctuation, all pronoun I's are capitalized. Okay, so you guys already know that. So that is what you're putting on your About Me page. Then we have your writing page. You don't know what your writing page is about yet, right? Because we haven't even gotten to that. So now I'm going to go back to Insert, and I'm going to click Text Box. And you can kind of be repetitive. Welcome to my writings I have begun in this class. You could even say 21st Century Communications. Writing, for the web and social media is different than writing for regular English classes. So you could just leave it like that. You could put explore the page, something like that. But again, it's what are you finding? What is the viewer finding when they get to your site or get to this page? So again, I want to change this because it's important, and I'm going to change it to title because it makes the text larger. You can again go back and put the color behind the text for consistency. And again, right now you don't really have anything to put on there, so that's cool. You can just leave it like that. And you're going to go through and do the exact same thing with your WLHS page, movies page, and then, of course, your About Me page. You're going to actually put text on here and an image of some sort. Keep it school appropriate. So that's about it for now. If you have any questions, contact me, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to do a Google Meet if you're really stuck. But by the end of this week, your goal is to have your site complete. You'll also be getting a link to a form from me that I'm going to ask you to fill out that will give me the URL to your site. Remember, that's that bar at the top that has your unique site coding. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this experience, and we will be doing another project getting started next week. Take care. Bye for now.